Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Hey, welcome to Euro Watch, where I keep an eye on all the West Ham players and West Ham transfer rumour targets, so you don't have to, so you don't need to. Don't know, there's a joke in there. You know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say. Anyway, let's get into it. On Monday, Soufal and Souček played against Scotland, and they both got an assist. Although Souček's assist was the worst assist ever. Statistically, it counts. He got an assist. He literally stood still while the defender booted it off him and ricocheted to Schick, who scored from 50 yards out against my country. But apart from that, Souček had an okay game. Committed a lot of fouls. He was basically man-marking John McGinn to some extent, and it worked. It stopped John McGinn getting forward for Scotland. He was our top goal scorer in the qualifiers, so it made sense to try and focus on John McGinn a little bit in the middle of the park. And I thought Souček had a good game. A 7 out of 10 if you like. Didn't really threaten us going forward. Didn't really play any sort of defence splitting pass or that, but was industrious as always, put himself about, got involved kind of thing. Good game from him. Soufal, now his assist is an assist. Statistically, counts just the same as Thomas, but worlds apart. This one was pinpoint accuracy. Czech Republic have struggled a little bit to create anything of the sort up until then. They had bits and pieces, but they were lacking quality. And it came from Soufal, a long corner, whoever it was for Czech Republic held that well. Lovely run by Soufal. But the cross is just magnificent. Schick has to stand still and jump, and it lands on his head. The cross is that good from him. We've seen him do it consistently for West Ham last season. 7 assists I think he got for the Hammers, and he's got one at Euro 2020 as well. Unfortunately for oneself, but fantastic cross. I thought he had a really good game. It's funny actually, because I thought him and Andy Robertson had like a personal battle during the 90 minutes, and I thought both had excellent games. And it's not often you can say that two players who are immediate opponents both have really good games. Usually one gets the better of the other and stuff, but I thought they both were excellent. Just like I said, Andy Robertson, after match day 1 of Euro 2020, Andy Robertson had created the most chances at the tournament, so clearly he was influencing the game from the left wing back role against Soufal. But I thought Soufal still had a really good game. Good battle between the two of them, and I think it's one of them that they'll both go off the pitch thinking, I've played well, but crikey, he was hard to play against. But the other player we were having a little look at in that game as a West Ham fan was Alex Kral. We've been linked with him quite a lot, so this is the best opportunity to have a little look at him across the tournament and see what he's got to offer. And going by the Scotland game, not much. He was crap. It is a bit harsh because I think they were sort of outnumbered by Scotland to some extent, but I didn't think he looked good at all. I thought his passing was a bit sloppy. He didn't really impose himself physically on the game like Souček did. There wasn't much there to be impressed by. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad player, blah blah blah. I'm literally talking about his performance against Scotland, and that's it. I'm not judging him or anything like. Well, I am. I'm judging the performance, but I'm not judging him as a player, if you know what I mean. So, not a great start to the tournament for Alex Kral, but a really good start for the two West Ham boys. Then Spain took on Sweden. Now, while there's no Hammers involved, there's not really anyone we're linked with either. There's the player that I keep going on about, Alexander Isak. Thought he was excellent. You often get a lot of things wrong when you do these videos, but now and again you get something right. And like I said to Charlie, I did a Patreon podcast with Charlie the other day, and said I'm hoping Isak has a really good tournament, so I can go back to a video about 3 years ago and be like, there you go, that's when I mentioned him. I think if you haven't already watched Sweden this tournament, or you don't know who Alexander Isak is, watch them in their next game, because I think he's got everything it takes to become a top striker. Obviously he's not the world's best or something, but I do think he's got a big future in the game, and eventually a Champions League club as well. And then Finland took on Russia. Now, we're not interested in any of these players as such, but I was keen to have a look at Dzyuba, the Russian striker, who we were linked with quite a lot. Not so much recently, but it's one of those names I expect to crop up every now and again. And I hope we're not interested in him. This is the second time I've seen him, okay? So it's not like Alex Kral. I've seen him once. I've seen him twice now at this tournament. And he's just not very good. He doesn't look very good. He's a big lump of a striker, but I think that's all he's got going for him. He's not very mobile. It doesn't even look like he's that bothered, to be honest with you. Russia under pressure to get a result and stuff, and he looked half-arsed. I was not impressed at all, and I thought, I'm glad that rumour's died. And if he was to come back again, going by what I've seen, no thank you. Because while you can't judge Alex Kral and the performance, you can sort of suggest, okay, but he had a bad game, but he does have what would suit West Ham, what Moyes would suit, you know, with the way he gets about the pitch and stuff. He's got that in him. You look at the Zuba and you think even if he had a good game, he still doesn't possess the ability, well, not so much the ability, the style, the characteristics that we're looking for. He doesn't move. He stands beside a centre back for the whole game and just tries to head the ball about. He just wouldn't work at West Ham. And then we had Wales. What a win for them. I enjoyed that game. I thought the Welsh were fantastic, actually. Adam Ramsey, we've been linked with him in the past. We're being linked with him again today. I mean, some would suggest that Aaron Ramsey had a really good game for the Welsh, scored the goal. He's the sort of hype word at the minute, the hype name in football in the country, if you like. So let's link him to a few clubs, and one of them's West Ham. But I thought for Wales last night, I thought Adam Ramsey was man of the match. I thought he was magnificent, playing in sort of the number 10 role, getting in behind Kiefer Moore. He should have had a hat-trick, in all fairness. He missed a couple of really big chances, but it was a well-taken goal. But even away from the opposition's 18-yard box stuff, I thought he was brilliant. I think he was chasing everything down. He was the one leading the press whenever the Welsh pushed up. He was the one that was chasing the ball down, kind of thing. I thought he just had a magnificent game. Would I like him at West Ham? To some extent. It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because would you have a fit Aaron Ramsey at West Ham on affordable wages? 100%, okay, 100%. He's got the ability, he's got this sort of style that we're looking for. I think he's the type of player that would run himself into the ground for us. But that's the thing, isn't it? He's not on affordable wages. He's on $400,000 a week at Juventus. It's a lot of money. He would have to take a significant wage reduction to come to West Ham, or he'd have to come on loan, and Juve would have to subsidise 75% of his wages, which wouldn't make sense. They are a bit skint at the minute, Juventus, or so they claim, despite still dabbling in the transfer the market. They're still claiming they're poor and stuff. So Adam Ramsey leaving there, it makes sense. I can see it happening, but I can't see them loaning out. So someone's going to have to buy him, and if that's the case, he's going to have to really lower what he's on. Assuming you then get over that, assuming you're able to agree some sort of payment structure with Aaron Ramsey and makes it affordable for West Ham, you've then got to get over the fact that he's a bit injury prone. He's not going to be around for the whole season. But is that okay? I guess that's the question. Is it okay if he's fit for half the season? Is he good enough for West Ham? And I'm not sure anymore. I think a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have said yes, get him in. Because we were desperate, because we were a badly organised side, we'd been down the bottom for the last couple of seasons. It's like a player of that quality come to the club, yes, please. It's like the Jack Wilshere thing again. At the time when we signed him, we were screaming out for a player like that because we were so devoid of any sort of flair or anything. And we know that was the wrong thing to do. But at the time, I still think it was possibly worth the risk because we were that desperate. But with Aaron Ramsey, I just don't think we're that desperate anymore. Like I said, it's nothing to do with his ability. I think he's a fantastic player, but he's just not fit enough, and that's the problem, really, isn't it? And then earlier tonight, Kiefer Moore in the Wales game. I'm sort of watching Moore more than anyone else when they play for Wales, because he's someone I still think we might get linked to him again, or maybe even make a move for him. But he did well, just well. I think Dan James, Gareth Bale, and Ramsey all played better than him. But that wasn't his fault. It's because of the way the Welsh set up and what they asked for Kiefer Moore to do, which was occupy defenders, win headers and stuff. And he did that. It's just that he wasn't able to influence the game in the box like you'd expect a striker to do. But it just didn't suit him, the game. It didn't suit him, but it doesn't mean he had a bad game. It just passed him by a little bit. But I still think, I'm still intrigued as to see if there's an option to get Kiefer Moore to West Ham, providing he's not the number one striker. And then earlier tonight, Yarmolenko, he's done it again. Scored a screamer for Ukraine against the Netherlands, and he's just scored again tonight against North Macedonia. I was going to say, really, a poacher's goal, if you like. It was a corner flicked on the near post, and Yarmolenko was at the back post. Now, it looks easy, right? It looks like a tap-in, and I guess it is. It does go down as a tap-in, but the angle's tight. The angle is tight. He sneaks in. The keeper is an inch away from keeping out with his big toe, but he gets the goal. He's in the right place. He reads the game well. He anticipates it. The defenders are stood still. He's the one running to the back post unmarked to knock it in with his weaker foot. Got the assist as well. I actually think his assist was better than his goal, if that makes sense. When you watch it, you understand the pass is perfectly weighted. The run's important. He's just onside, but Yarmolenko's got to play that pass at the exact right time as well, and he does. He's got the right weight because Yarmolenko is the one that's through and goal. Hits it first time past the goalkeeper. The assist is just perfection from Yarmolenko. And Yarmolenko is who we were linked with last week as well. He had a decent game for Ukraine, got on the score sheet. He links up really well with Andrei Yarmolenko. It's difficult to gauge him if he would suit West Ham or not from the way that Ukraine played tonight and the first game. At times you think, yeah, I can see something in that, I can see that, but then there's other times he's just lacking a little bit of, I don't know what the word is. It's not composure, but you just feel he's just not quite good enough sometimes. But from what I've seen, I certainly wouldn't be disappointed if we were to move for him. But as for the West Ham player, Yarmolenko, I thought he had a good game again. I thought he had a good game. But this is the problem. Nothing will convince me that Yarmolenko's got a future at West Ham next season because of the Aaron Ramsey thing. Good enough, he's just not fit enough. And big wages as well at West Ham. And this is just perfect. I think this scenario we're seeing right now at the Euros is perfect for West Ham. Any club that was looking at him, debating getting him, whether it's Dynamo Kiev, Galatasaray, whatever, Turkish side or Ukrainian side, I think are probably the most likely to take him off our hands. They were thinking, can he still do it? Can he still do it? The answer is yes. Yes, he can. But the difference is, Yarmolenko at Ukraine, he's playing in his best position, sort of right inside striker. He can be a bit lazy. He doesn't track back very often. When he does, he jogs back. But that's okay for Ukraine. They allow him to do that because he's the captain, he's their best player. They don't build a side around him per se, but they certainly put him in. He's one of the first names on the team sheets kind of thing. And it's a different, even though he can play sort of right wing for Ukraine and right wing for West Ham, the roles are completely different. What you're asked to do off the ball is completely different. The amount of sort of freedom you've got on the ball is completely different. At West Ham, he's probably not really encouraged to shoot from 20 yards out. At Ukraine, he is. You can tell he is because he does it so often and he's still left on the pitch and he scored goals. He's a big player for them. So I think Yarmolenko at Ukraine is not the Yarmolenko we see at West Ham because West Ham's more of a team. Ukraine, he is the best player. He is their main player. It is obvious. And I just don't think he's good enough to be West Ham's main player. And that's not meant as a dig at Yarmolenko, that, because like I said, on his day, he's good enough. He's just not fit enough. You cannot, at West Ham, you cannot base your whole style around someone who's going to be fit for 30% of the season. You can do that when it's a country, when it's a major tournament or something, because you only need to be fit for 3 weeks. After that, it doesn't really matter, does it? He just has to be fit for 3 to 4 weeks, and that's it. At the minute, he is performing extremely well for Ukraine on a big stage right now, which is going to generate interest. West Ham are winning at the Euros so far. Soufal, good performance. Souček, good performance. Declan Rice, good performance. Yarmolenko scoring goals. This is positive for West Ham. Marko Navic banned for 1 game for the celebration I spoke about in the last video. Once an idiot, always an idiot, really, isn't it? Anyway, there you go. That's your Euro roundup. I'll be back in a few days' time with the next Euro roundup because there's lots of players playing, including Declan Rice playing tomorrow night against Scotland. So hopefully I'll be back to say he had a rubbish game. Well, he can have a good game. Scotland winning, you know, that would be ideal for me. If you enjoyed this Euro edition, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you tomorrow.